Welcome to Crypto Bubble, the channel where we dive together into the exciting universe of cryptocurrencies. Hey crypto enthusiasts, it's Roger, your guide in the heart of the crypto bubble. Before we delve into the thrilling world of the latest news and analyses, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay tuned, and smash that little blue thumb if you're ready to explore the depths of the market with me. It's going to be an epic adventure, so get ready, sit back, and join me on this journey to the moon. We're going to take stock of the Bitcoin theme because it's not reflected in the markets. But do you know what's happening with Bitcoin? It's a global hit, a historical success in terms of ETFs. Now, let's explore why it's not evident in the market prices. We've talked about miners, but it's mainly Grayscale that is currently selling massively. And I'll explain why. In the short to medium term, it can be very good news. After that, we'll discuss Coinbase because it's very important. They are challenging the SEC, and Coinbase is attacking the SEC. It's a fight for everyone, plain and simple. There you go, Bitcoin has made it. The ETF has become commonplace, so to speak. Now, the battle is for all the other cryptocurrencies, all the altcoins except Bitcoin. A trial took place yesterday for all these altcoins. So, Coinbase was heard yesterday by the New York court, and as you know, the SEC only understands that. He explained it yesterday. He admitted that he accepted Bitcoin because he was afraid of legal action and, in essence, the court decision in favor of Grayscale was the turning point. So, the SEC only understands court decisions. Coinbase is completely right to do this. Right not to wait and, above all, to understand that it will help everyone. It will help Ethereum, it will help ZARP, and it will help all altcoins, simply all cryptocurrencies. This trial is going to be super important. We will follow it very closely because it's the entire future. The entire future. Bitcoin has opened the door, as they say these days, but we need it to go much further, much faster, and hopefully, at some point, I don't know, in 12 months, in 18 months, we don't just have 2 or 3 ETFs, but maybe about 30, simply. So, it's really something very important. We will follow it, and of course, we will discuss it on this channel. Regarding the causes, a bit of news about the Bitcoin ETF, there's some very important news about miners. In a way, miners have recently sold 600 Bitcoins for almost $500 million. It's normal, it's a window of opportunity to sell Bitcoins. Miners are selling, and miners, like everyone at some point, sell. And it won't last like this for weeks and weeks. The most important information is that the spot Bitcoin ETF, you might say, is clearly not visible in the prices, but it's a global hit. As I mentioned, a historical hit. There are already volumes, not even a week. It's been a week since Bitcoin has been in transaction volume on ETFs. Imagine 10 billion already. So, in 1 week, 10 billion. It's simply monstrous. When we look more closely, it's the suspicions we had. I was trying to explain why Scale was tending to sell, and especially people who had BTC sell because Bitcoin has increased by x3. But they were making -50, there was a discount of -50 so, compared to the lows of late 2022, those who had BTC, roughly speaking, make ×6, so naturally, they sell. And look, BlackRock, they're accumulating a lot of TFs. The ETF enthusiasts, mainly the biggest ones in Fidelity and BlackRock. And what do we see? They are almost buying the Bitcoins that are being sold. When we see the volumes, 18 billion that have been sold by Greece. Imagine 18 billion, what does that mean? It means that on the other side, and the price is roughly stable, let's say, on Bitcoin, what does it mean? It means that it's also buying a lot on the other side, and as you know, I think BTC, for me, it's temporary. Maybe it will last a few more days, maybe a few more weeks, but it won't last for months because at some point, they have 24 billion, and the idea is that not everyone is going to sell their GBTC, their F Bitcoin now. And so, at some point, it will stop, and at some point, there will be no more BTC sales, only purchases from different ETFs, and you'll see. At some point, I think it can even be very impactful on Bitcoin. I believe the day Grayscale simply stops selling its Bitcoins, despite what we see, we still find ourselves in an interesting range and comfortably hold the 42. Welcome to a world of exceptional opportunities. Click now on the link for our free ebook to discover projects that could multiply your success. Sign up to receive this exclusive ebook that could change your life. But wait, an even incredible opportunity awaits you on our free Telegram group. Join us now for crypto updates and privileged insights. Explore our exclusive partner offers with exceptional discounts. Don't wait, the opportunity is now. Crypto Bubble, the future is calling. Click now, reshape your future. The links in the description await you. You are Link Jr. Well, we'll also look at the chart. There's a huge resistance to overcome, and I think when we surpass this resistance, it's going to be really significant. Link seems to be increasingly the forefront asset for the RU, and I think it's completely underestimating the performance Link can deliver. Today, I checked its value, it's around 8 to 9 billion. I think it can achieve x-digit multipliers because they are in such a niche sector, and it's becoming the central player. Everyone is partnering with them. The latest is SingularityNet, which is partnering with Scaling because they are truly becoming the indispensable player. And you know, the localization of real assets can represent trillions of dollars. That's what I mean. So, I'm not saying that Scaling will represent that, but if Scaling is worth several hundred billion, it seems completely realistic in the midst of a bull market. And if you evaluate it at a few hundred billion or even 100 billion, it can already represent 10 times, 15 times, 20 times on Scaling. Next, at the supply level, it's very interesting too. The data he gives us, these statistics, show that the number of Chainlink on exchanges is at its lowest since February 5, 2020, so the lowest in 4 years. Imagine, we're going back quite a way, and look at that time. 4 years ago, what Scaling was doing, it went parabolic. We hope it will be the same this time. It may not necessarily copy that. I think it can do better than what we did in 2020 because Scaling didn't have all these sectors back then. And you know how BlackRock and Larry Fink are completely in love with this sector. How much hope he has. It should make very nice profits for Scaling, especially Scaling. I think it's a token that is completely underrated, simply. Then, in terms of the figure, here I totally disagree. They've invented a figure. We know the double tops for reversing the W, but a V-shaped reversal doesn't exist. We'll look at the charts indeed. However, there's a huge resistance here, and I'll show you the crazy upside potential in the charts in a second. Now, this is an interesting topic because it directly concerns me, allowing me to give you a little update. As you know, I'm trying to launch a business, and honestly, it's much more complicated than I thought. I didn't have unrealistic expectations. I had slow goals for the first year of 2024, especially for the first semester. But personally, I'm trying to work in the blockchain sector, particularly in integrating blockchains around different blockchains. And you know, when you embark on entrepreneurship to limit risks, you try to explore various blockchains, trying to offer services around different blockchains. And the flip side of the coin is that we're not specialized. My positioning isn't very clear yet, but in any case, I'm reaching out, doing prospecting and all that. I'm trying to offer my services, and it's quite funny because I find myself a bit like a young beginner who has just finished his studies and is asked, "Abbott, what is your experience?" And the young beginner, of course, has no experience since he's just starting out. That's a bit of what's happening to me right now, even though I have a lot of professional experience in the blockchain sector, in the field of technological integration, specifically with blockchains. So I'm really in tech, not at all in cryptocurrencies. Personally, in this activity, and basically, it's a bit of what they're reproaching me for today. Now I'm completely aware that it's the future, that there are really huge amounts to be tapped into. There's enormous potential for development to be sought because there's absolutely nothing specific, especially in France. I think today there's no equivalent company to mine, even if I'm alone for the moment, that develops services around blockchain integration. It will take time. I'm trying to reach out, trying to offer services. It could be training, things like that. And in any case, it's quite complicated in terms of my activity. And I really understand this Telegraph article or those who tell us that when you're a developer in the blockchain sector, it's quite complicated because everything is fragmented. You have 50 different blockchains, you have 50 different development languages, and it's hard to position yourself, make very clear choices because you want to stay as open as possible. I really understand this article. I'm experiencing it live, and it allows me to give you a little update on my activity. Let's say, I hope for the next 10 years. In the blockchain sector, I'm starting, and it's clearly more complicated than I had imagined. But then, I didn't imagine an explosion right from the start, as in any business. There you go. You have to make yourself known. You have to develop, you have to question yourself every day, develop offers, develop materials just to try to present your offers. That's what I'm doing. And there we go. It's the start. We're starting slowly but with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of ambition, and, in any case, conviction. I wouldn't say I have confidence in completely exploding everything, but I'm convinced. Now, James Diamond, it really amuses me. He's still bashing Bitcoin. It's quite crazy. He coined an expression. He said that Bitcoin, essentially, was patro. The English translation is some kind of pet rock. That's how I could translate it. A completely useless pet rock. And what's crazy is that he said it was the last time he was going to talk about it. I take him at his word. I guarantee you that in less than a week, 10 days, I'll pull out another article by Jamie Dimon. And what's crazy is that I find him bitter completely. You can sense a person who missed the boat on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. He feels like he's not in the loop. So what do? You criticize. It happens to me on this channel, too. When I present a project and the project is doing very well, often I get comments from bitter people, for example, on Tau, things like that, who missed out on 10 times and they say the token is useless, the token is a scam, and it's a bit Jamie Dimon's position. And he almost makes me feel sorry for him because at some point, we tell him, Abbott, you know that BlackRock is in the game, Goldman Sachs is also in the game, don't forget that. They are partnering with BlackRock. We have Fidelity managing Americans' pensions, after all. And we tell him this, and he says, hey no, I love you all softly. So basically, he explains that he doesn't want to help anyway. In essence, he says he defends your right to Bitcoins just to try to have a balanced statement. But even when we tell him, Abbott, you know who the biggest players in finance are in the game, he says, it's not my business, but let's follow this because I'm almost sure that in less than a week, he will spew venom on Bitcoin and the crypto sector again. And especially the cliches. It really sounds like a child's speech. He comes up with the biggest cliches. Fraud. He invented a new thing, human trafficking. I didn't know that. And basically, avoiding taxes, tax evasion, and all that. So cliches. It was missing the famous environmental impact. The impact, those kinds of things. Regarding the difference, it's been a long time since I talked about it because I think it's a very, very nice project. You know that it's part of those lines that I like, Greeks, acts. It's quite crazy because one story we don't talk about much these days, but USAP remains the leader, the undisputed leader of the DeFi. And basically, what we forget is that Unison was the first to have done an airdrop precisely, and maybe it's even them who invented the trend of airdrops. Basically, the historical actor of the DeFi, and ADX has surpassed a record in volume in a day. Imagine 757 million in 24 hours on ADX. So, the DeFi sector is picking up very dynamically again, and I would say in a portfolio, don't forget to have some DeFi for the next bull run. Of course, there are sectors like artificial intelligence, the rough that we talk about. But I think we shouldn't neglect historical sectors like DeFi, interoperability with Layer 0. We talked about it yesterday to have the most balanced portfolio possible, but DeFi is really coming back strong. It's been a very long time since we had such huge volumes, especially in DeFi. It's a project that I also love a lot. Now, in terms of the market, it's not pretty with our Greek friends who keep selling. Nevertheless, we are maintaining above 42.0. So, it's not really a disaster. We are at 2005 in terms of the field, decent volumes, nothing more. And in these volumes, as you all know, there are about, 300 or 400-500 million every day. It's Grayscale that sells, and at some point, this flow, as they say, will dwindle while inflation continues because more and more. Don't forget that the 11 companies selling ETFs are launching big communication campaigns in the United States. It's just the beginning, and there will be more and more information because, at some point, in any sector, there's the sheep phenomenon. There are the precursors, the early users, the doctors who arrive, and then there are the others, the crowd that comes, and so this crowd, for me, it's just the beginning, and it makes me rather confident. The fact that Bitcoin is holding up well, even though, as we know, they're selling in billions. So, with Bitcoin, same as usual, we'll go through quickly because there's nothing to say. We're maintaining at 42.0, period. Nothing else to say, really, about the chart analysis. I won't waste your precious time. Then, Tau, it's really pleasing, truly. I told you, -50 it's bouncing back. Was it the point? The famous one too. Did we touch? Welcome to a world of exceptional opportunities. Click now on the link for our free ebook to discover projects that could multiply your success. Sign up to receive this exclusive ebook that could change your life. But wait, an even incredible opportunity awaits you on our free Telegram group. Join us now for crypto updates and privileged insights. Explore our exclusive partner offers with exceptional discounts. Don't wait, the opportunity is now. Crypto bubble, the future is calling. Click now, reshape your future. The links in the description await you. The 2, it's possible. If it's a 2, 3, we'll easily explode to 400. We'll follow that closely. Then, Yannick, look, it's been a while. It's confirming, I hope. Sometimes it can take weeks, even months. Look, it's a bull flag for me. It's really a bull flag. Explosion on the flag. And then we'll explode. And look at the magnificent potential. Especially, I find that it resembles a lot to this. Here I am on shining in weekly thousands. You have 11, and there you go. And if it explodes, there you go. We were here. We did this. I think that in the next months, in the next 12 months, we will do something even crazier in terms of technique, even at least 15 in the short term. Already, if it explodes in this zone, roughly around 17, the idea is to quickly reach, I think, there are no more resistances between 28 or even 32. That means between 50 and 100 performance if we explode, of course. Be cautious because here, we could say if it explodes, if it explodes, if it explodes, you really need to be careful. Confirm the explosion, you need to completely get in. And there's a confirmation, and even when it explodes, you know, there can be a little pullback, and then it takes off. EDX, we talked about it. It has dropped a lot, almost 50 really. There are many pullbacks of 50. Ultimately, I think that's what we need to remember. We were roughly at 84. 40, we went down, it's quite precise, minus 50 to restart exactly like Tau. And finally, I wanted to finish with this token that I don't know well yet. It's actually part of the subscribers. Subscribers have been talking to me about it for several days, and it's a token to present it very briefly to you, Coral. Basically, it's a kind of render. We're exactly on the same thing, a distributed supercomputer very GPU-oriented, so projects in line with the times. A very small project. Let's see, it's worth 36 million and it's quite interesting because look, it's the same. 0.28, it has lost 50 even more than 50 and exactly like Tau, it's starting again. So, is it making a 1-2? Does it mean that the 3 will go beyond 0.30? It's possible. And after, what I want to tell you, be careful, it's a very small project, but I think it can be a good theme for those who missed out on Kate, and so this token. Let's finish with it because it's in the 571 ST position. Thanks also to the different subscribers who talked to me about it, it's by insisting on this token. Finally, I went to see and I think the timing was right to tell you about it. Of course, if you step back, it was still worth really nothing not long ago. But in fact, it's absolutely nothing compared to it. So it's exactly the same. It was worth around 30 million. Today, it's worth almost 1 billion. I think it's a token that can have the same trajectory. As usual, always available on MaxS. Definitely, MaxS is really the account to have to go grab this kind of gem. They released Casper, they released Tau, and maybe Clork. And it might be the new gem of artificial intelligence. It's up to you to see. It's still not bad, but even compared to the highest, it's still minus 50 and we'll stop at that. In conclusion, this review on the theme of Bitcoin provides a fascinating insight into the current market dynamics. Despite massive sales, especially from Grayscale, Bitcoin maintains its position above 42.0. The success of Bitcoin ETFs is undeniably a global phenomenon, generating impressive transaction volumes in just 1 week, exceeding 10 billion. However, persistent challenges, such as significant minor sales, highlight the complexity of the current landscape. The lawsuit involving Coinbase and the SEC, as well as the significance of judicial decisions in shaping the future of cryptocurrencies, underscores the legal stakes surrounding this financial revolution. The mention of the potential expansion of ETFs to other cryptocurrencies emphasizes the constant evolution of this ecosystem. Furthermore, the integration of technical analysis and perspectives on projects such as Chainlink, Uniswap, and others brings a diversity of angles to consider in the cryptocurrency universe. As a subscriber to this channel, Stay informed about these exciting developments and feel free to explore emerging opportunities while closely following the provided recommendations. If you found this information helpful and want to stay updated on the latest market trends, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. This not only supports the creator but also promotes the dissemination of knowledge and in-depth analyses within the community. Stay connected, explore new opportunities, and continue actively participating in this thrilling cryptocurrency journey.